Thank you, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video.
Hello, I am super excited because all the pieces for my dissecting microscope have arrived. As I was sharing with you earlier on this video, instead of getting a dissecting scope, decided to get a pro macro lens for my DSLR camera, as in this way I will be able to achieve the same level of macro, the same level of detail, but I will be able to get way more pro video and photographs in comparison to how much detail I would be getting from the dissecting scope. And something that is also beautiful about using this lens instead of using the scope is that it is mounted to my camera. So I don't only have the possibility of building the scope here in my bio art section of the studio, aka the closet, but I actually can also take these macro lens with me when I go hiking or in any sort of expeditions, and I can make photograph and video footage from living species in nature without the need to take them out of their natural habitat and having to bring them to my studio, which is something that I'm very stoked about. And I want to show you all the pieces for the scope, and today I will be building it finally because the last piece arrived. They've all been ordered from different shops, as it's like making my own Frankenstein scope. Yes. So first of all, I have my DSLR camera. This is a lens that I got. I've never seen a lens that has such a small optic section, but pretty much this is what will be mounted. It already comes with the tripod mount ring in the lens. This adapter is the one that will give me the capability of having my camera mounted to the tube that will be pretty much making up the scope. So I also got this tube that it's where the camera and that adapter will be hanging from, and the base from the dissecting scope. This base has two sides. One side is white, the other side is a mirror or a black side. I'm not sure which one I got, but this will give me the capability of having different backgrounds for the species that I bring over, the mushrooms or the plants or the seeds or whatever I end up looking under the scope. Earlier this week, the first thing that arrived was the lens, and I haven't had the time to go out hiking since before moving actually, but I did go outside and took a couple pictures of living species right outside our new home. So I took a bunch of pictures of flowers and lichen and moss, and I'm so happy with the amount of detail that I get. So now I'll stop talking, or I'll start building up the scope, which there are no instructions because this is a Frankenstein I'm making myself. So hopefully I won't need any sort of instructions and it will be super easy to make. I just have to say it is such a game changer to have the woods right outside. It's been so smooth to just literally step out and collect a lot of different little species. First, I took a couple pictures from the lichen that I took pictures of as soon as I got my lens, and now that I have the camera and the lens mounted, so pretty much my version of the dissecting scope, I grabbed a few species. I have a stick with lichen. I got a flower from the mint plant. I also got a small Asteramellus flower and a couple other tiny ones, which I don't know their names yet, but it's one of my objectives to get to know the names of all the plants that we are surrounded by. So now let's take a look at them with the new scope. Before continuing with today's vlog, I want to take a few seconds of our time to share with you about today's video sponsor, which is Squarespace. They are the virtual home of all things Caro Arevalo, my email campaigns, my online shop, my art portfolio, and my website.
With Squarespace automatic image scaling feature, my work always looks its best both on mobile and desktop. And with their password-protected pages, I can share private work, private online shops with clients and Patreons.
So thank you once again, Squarespace, for sponsoring today's video. You can use a 2-week trial with them, and once you're ready to launch, make sure to use the code CAROAREVALO to get a sweet discount of your first purchase of a website or domain. So now let's go back to today's vlog. So I've been working on the fungi key for a few days straight now, and I just entered the last division. The painting is divided in 5 divisions. 1, 2, 3. Yes, the painting is divided in 5 divisions, and I just got into the last one of them. I already finished 4 of them, and right now I started the Fungi Imperfecti, so I worked on them clockwise. And the Fungi Imperfecti is the last division that I have to finish the fungi key. I'm currently starting fungi number 236 out of 3000. My brain is fried. I just started fungi 236 from 320 something fungi that I have in total in the painting. And once I finish the key, I'll be able to see where I'm going to be printing these. I would love to print a 2-side paper with the image with all the numbers, and on the other side all the scientific names for each of the species. And I also moved my table within my studio. I realized that where I had it, I was pretty much blocking the natural light from the window. So now I moved it where I get natural light from this window here and the window on the left. And once I finish the key, I will be printing those. I will be ordering my tubes, and the prints should be arriving here on Friday. Today is Tuesday. So yeah, I think the key is the last thing. The prints might even be here before I have the key printed out. But I'm so excited to have people actually receive the print with the key at their homes and use it as an art piece, but also as an educational piece. And now my easel section of the studio is right here, right behind the camera. And as soon as I ship all the fungi stuff, I am ready to hang my 50 by 70 inch painting on the eukaryotic beings, which I started in 2019. And I haven't been able to find a piece of wood or carton or whatever where I can paste that painting in order to use my easel. So I think I'll just paste it to the wall, as I've always done before having an easel. And I am very excited to work on that piece because I started it so long ago, and I really want to keep learning and exploring more about all the eukaryotic beings. I know the protists will be super fun to learn about. The animals will be amazing. And then after all the knowledge that I've been collecting with the fungi and the plants, I think those 2 kingdoms will be super fun and easy to work on in comparison to before doing actual long yearly studies on them. So that's a bit of what's happening today, and I'm just very excited with everything that's coming in this new space, in this new studio within fall, knocking our door, and having this new little space to work from. I'm very, very excited to everything that's going to come. And yeah, I just wanted to share that here. Yesterday, I finished printing all the first sides for the fungi painting key, which is the outlined side of the painting. And I got these double-sided paper, which means I'm able to print on both sides. And on the other side, I will be printing the scientific names for each of them, which with each of the numbers. I already have the prints, the certificate of authenticity. Today I will have the keys ready, and tomorrow the tubes are arriving. So ideally today I will be finishing printing the keys, cutting the extra borders, and also doing the deckled edges and signing each of the prints, signing, numbering, proving each of the prints, seeing that everything is perfect as it should be. And I plan on leaving all of that ready so tomorrow we can focus on doing all the shipping labels and packing on the tubes. And the way that I will be doing is I'm going to number and sign each of the prints, and the order in the ones I will be sending the numbered prints is in the order the orders arrive. So the first person that ordered a print will be getting the number 1 numbered print from this limited edition. So the first person will be getting 1 from X amount of prints that I have. I believe it's 47 of them. I'm not 100% sure. But there they are. And yeah, I'm just hoping to get all of that done today. I was a little under the weather, but I had a cold and I'm feeling so much better. Yesterday was like half there and today I'm fully back. I'll still be drinking some mushroom adaptogenics as well as lots of ginger to boost up the immune system. And this week I should also be packing all Patreon rewards, shipping those out, and hopefully going to hiking nature so soon. I feel this might be the longest time I've been without going on a hike, and I'm ready. Okay, bye.
I ended up printing all the fungi keys at home. I found this awesome, sustainable, and FSC certified double-sided paper to print. And I got pretty excited to cut them down, do the deckled edges for the prints, as well as proof them and sign them. It really reminded me of my days in the printmaking studio at uni. I loved working on series of prints, and the methodology, organization, and cleanliness that goes behind them were one of my favorite things about creating at the printmaking studio. All the methodology is something I always keep with me. Every single inch and detail needs to be on point for a series to become a series. I miss doing printmaking a lot, and it's actually been 10 years since I worked at a printmaking studio for the last time. And doing this got me inspired to see if I can make some printmaking soon. Itchin is my favorite, and I have already started looking around for a printmaking studio near Woodstock.
Yesterday, I finished doing all the deckled edges for all the fungi prints. I also proofed them. I actually got one that had some glitches, I guess, because they're made with a printer. There were just a couple of lines that looked like scratches, so I took that one out of the pile. That one will be sold as an artist proof later in time, but I finished doing all the deckled edges for the prints. Today I am signing them, numbering them, and also signing my certificates of authenticity. So I'll have everything ready. The key is ready, the deckled edges are ready. Once I sign them, number them, and sign the certificates of authenticity, I'll be able to start working on doing all the labels so I can ship them. The tubes arrived yesterday, so I'm quite excited for this. And it's actually been in perfect time because we've had rain non-stop for the past 3 days. It's been the gloomiest that it's ever been since we moved, and you cannot see how gloomy it is because cameras are magic and they have light and they make everything look prettier. But I'm happy because it's been gloomy and I've been able to do this work, which is not sitting down and painting. I love to paint in brighter days, but I'm also realizing, thanks to the gloomy days, that my studio is not as bright as it used to be, because of course before I had the most gigantic window in the world, which means that I will be getting an external light. And for the first time ever, I will be working with light on the painting. These gloomier days are kind of letting me know how the days in winter will be. Usually winter is a little gloomier. So yeah, I think it's gonna be perfect to get that light in advance, so then when it's winter, I can work without really needing to worry about if it's gloomy, if it's bright. I can just paint all the time. So yeah, why don't we get started signing, numbering the fungi prints, and not tomorrow, but maybe Friday, we will start packing them.
This has been the biggest limited edition I have ever made, and you have no idea what it means to me that people support my small business, and especially with a theme that could be seen as something weird, as sometimes fungi are classified. There is so much magic to learn from the world within and around us, and it keeps me inspired to keep creating paintings that explore nature. I am slowly learning so much from it by painting, and I have so many dreams of how to dive deeper into the microscopic world and incorporate it in my paintings, one day at a time. Thank you so much for being here with me while I navigate this new microscopic journey and while I explore unconventional themes like the fungi. I believe we are all taking a big part in making some living beings less taboo or feared, like the fungi. For the past few years, Ivo has been working with me, and he's now in charge of a lot of things in what I see now as our small business, like video editing, as well as packing the shop and Patreon orders. We've played the long run, as I had never had an assistant before, and translating everything that exists in my mind and my heart without words into practicality has been a learning process. He's been so patient with me on this process, and it's been so beautiful to arrive to a place where Ivo gets my vibe and we're now collaborators in this work. I always feel I could use more time than I have to make everything I wish I could make. I always say this, my mind and heart go faster than my hands can, but hands down, I wouldn't be able to do half of what I do if I didn't have Ivo as my right hand, and I wouldn't be able to hire him as my assistant if I didn't have all your support. So thank you for that.
Hello, today we are shipping all the fungi prints. We are taking them to UPS and to USPS. We have to deliver a few international ones that come with several custom slips. Ivo's the one that did all the packing. I did, as you have seen in this video, all the cutting, signing, and he did all the packing and labels, which in my opinion is the hardest work. But today we're stopping both by USPS and UPS to drop them off. I am in complete awe from people ordering these prints, from all the support that I've had throughout the time creating the fungi painting, which sometimes as an artist that works in slow art, that makes slow paintings, due to all the research that I put into each of them, it's so reassuring that I'm in the right path when, sometimes capitalism and society are like, you need to be painting, and in 2 years, of course, you need to have a new solo show and whatnot and be in all the art galleries and the art shows and blah, blah, blah. But it feels so reassuring and so special, and I feel a lot of support, not only from everyone who ordered the prints, of course, but also from, everyone's comments and support throughout the journey online. And I'm just over the moon to see these beauties arrive at people's homes. As soon as they arrive, I cannot believe this will be decorating other people's homes, and it may also be an educational piece. I'm over the moon to also put a close to this chapter and fully focus on the eukaryotic painting that is what's coming up next. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, and now let's stop talking and let's go to the post office.
Thank you for being here and sharing your time with me. I hope you're doing well and this video was fun to watch. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like what you see here, and thank you once again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. I will see you on another video very soon. Until then, be well.